You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
What's up, punters and dribblers? Welcome back to another episode of All Talk. And this week we are speaking to one of the all-time Australian greats, former UFC middleweight champion, Robert Whittaker. Now, I'm going to let you know a little secret here. We already spoke to him. This happened last week. I'll let you know another little secret. When we spoke to him, he was fighting someone else. He was fighting Khamzat Chimaev, who has unfortunately taken ill.
Not mad at the right stuff. Let's call it how it is.
That's how we see it. But obviously, if we ever meet you in person, we will tell a different tale. He has been replaced by Ikram Aliskerov, who has only in the UFC lost to Khamzat. That's the only person.
A scary man, I'm led to believe.
Yes, Askerov. A scary man.
There you go. Beautiful use of language.
6 wins by KO, 5 by submission. He's on a 7-fight win streak currently, 7 first-round finishes. So, this man is nothing to be trifled with.
Well, he knows how to throw him, Tom. Yeah. But guess who knows how to throw him?
Nux,
Bobby Nux, Robert Whittaker, okay?
Yeah.
He knows how to throw him. He's been throwing them for decades.
That's right. Now, Edward, the prelims start at 2 a.m.
Correct.
Main card, 5 a.m.
Correct.
The co-main, Sergey Pavlovich and Alexander Volkov, 2 big Russian heavyweights with knockout power.
Big burly men.
Big burly Russian dudes. That's in the co-main. Now, this whole thing available on Fight Pass, punters and dribblers. If you don't have your Fight Pass yet, I suggest you sign up to UFC Fight Pass.
We're not a real fan if you don't Fight Pass.
The Library of Alexandria that burnt down, and it's like the entire history of humanity and all the things were lost.
And we lost everything up until that point.
UFC Fight Pass is kind of like the Library of Alexandria, but for the history of fights.
And it hasn't burnt down, and it's not going anywhere.
It's not going to, but you can have access. Imagine if someone said to you, Eddie, you can have access to the Library of Alexandria
for a small monthly fee.
For a small monthly subscription fee, which Tom's about to bring up on the screen for me so I can read.
You would jump at that, punters and dribblers. We are essentially offering you a modern day Library of Alexandria equivalent.
The Fight Library of Alexandria.
But for UFC.
That's right. So they're currently running a promotion here. If you get an annual subscription to the Fight Library of Alexandria.
That's right. You're going to save 35%, punters and dribblers. Okay, that annual fee down to $6.99. What does that break down to? Okay, quick math. Divided by 12, that's $5.60 a month. That's fucking nothing.
That is.
Nothing.
No, that isn't.
To have access to the Fight Library of Alexandria, $5.60 a month?
Yeah.
That's the deal of the century.
It's available to new subscribers, fight fans. They've got a bunch of different fight organisations with all the fights on there. They got
all the fights. All the fights.
You can go and see. What Robert Whittaker did, in his earliest UFC days.
That's Fight Pass,
and that's where you can view this fight card. Anyway,
should we
get into the chat with Robert Whittaker? I feel like this intro's probably been right. Yeah,
Rob?
Rob's waiting on the other side of this chat.
Talk to Rob.
He's going, let me in.
Okay, here's Rob.
Thanks for taking the time to have a chat. To be honest with you, off the rip, you're someone we have been very excited to talk to for a long time. We've been doing this podcast for a while now, and you've been one of those people that's been just right at the goddamn top of the list. So it's lovely to finally have you on.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hey, how you feeling, mate? You're obviously in Saudi Arabia. Ready to rip and tear or what?
Mate, tip-top form. The camp was beautiful. Got in here, got a team on the ground. Been training already, weights on point. I'm ready, mate. I'm ready to rock and roll.
How does emotion work in fight week? I will get nervous for the most menial of tasks. I can only imagine that it's equal to a fight week. But when you're getting into a fight, when does nerves stop? Do they stop? Are you shitting yourself? Does that ever leave your mind, the fact that you're about to have a fight? What's the whole feeling like?
Nah, mate. Yeah, it's literally like you're shitting yourself the entire time,
Good. That's how I hoped you felt.
Just about every time I'm about to walk out and I'm behind that backdrop and I can hear the music start, I think to myself, fuck, why am I doing this? Why do I do this, And it's a different beast. Fight day is something. Fight week's not too bad because I'm I honestly out of sight, out of mind, not thinking about it at all. Play a lot of video games, keep my mind off the task. But fight day is gnarly, and it makes you better for it, though. I feel like it's the type of stress it's the type of pressure that makes diamonds,
Are you like do you throw up with nerves? Like, I know, again, I'm getting specific on how nerves, metabolize.
The old dunny spew.
The old dunny spew or a poo. A spew or a poo. Is it like, how does that sort of manifest?
Oh mate, I'm not a spewer, but I don't know. My bowels are pretty empty by the time I step in there, mate.
How obviously you'll get the job done Sunday morning Australian time to the punters and dribblers. That's our audience, Rob. How high after a win like do you remain in terms of? Are you just buzzing for like a week straight, a month straight? When do you come back down to earth after big wins, big dubs?
Mate, honestly, it's a weird feeling. It's not like a high. It's just it's surreal for the first chunk. Like you can't believe that after all the months of work that you've put in, and after the fight itself, that you've walked away with the result that you've been looking at the entire camp. It's a lot of relief, to be honest, to get through the task. But honestly, it takes a while. Like everything, and honestly, it rolls over until the next fight. That's why when you take an L, it's so rough, because it rolls on and you feel the effects of it until the next bout, until you can change the letter.
Yeah. So this Sunday Australia time, the main card, I think, starts at 5 a.m. You can watch it all on Fight Pass. You're taking on who many people in the MMA world are like, talk about him being like the scariest motherfucker in town in Hamzat. Like, you've always been, one of the great things about you is you don't necessarily call people out. You're like, next man up, whoever they want me to fight. And Hamzat being one of those people that you hear of people sort of saying, no way am I fighting that guy. How do you feel about him? How do you feel about taking a fight against him? And I guess maybe the things that you need to be most wary of in his game.
Mate, I look forward to the test. I look forward to the trial. Like, I'm in this game to fight the best. That's where you get the most honor out. That's where you get the most respect from, is taking hard fights. And I do believe Hamzat's going to be a hard fight. He comes out really hard. He's got high caliber wrestling. He's got knockout power. He's the whole deal. And he's fought some really high ranked dudes, with Kamaru being the last one. But I do believe my skill set's better. I think I have the skill set to beat him. I'm really good at beating guys that nobody wants to fight. I'm really good at beating guys that are on a bit of a steamroll and have unbeaten streaks. I'm good at derailing those guys because I'm the real threat in this division. I'm the boogeyman, not him, dude.
How did you? I don't know if you read Duplessis' comments recently, where he said that if Hamzat was to win, which he won't, but if he was to win, then he wants to fight him next. But if you were to win, he thinks that you aren't worthy of a rematch. How do you see that?
Mate, doesn't bother me. Like, I'll worry about that when I get my hand raised over Chimaev. This is a hard fight. He's going to bring a hard game, and I understand I have 25 minutes in there with him. So I'm giving that the gravity and respect it deserves. That my calendar only goes up until that date, and I'm gonna get in there and smash him or die trying.
He seems like someone. I think I've heard in certain comments, not that I have quotes prepared, but like that he respects you. I feel like a lot of you've got the respect of a lot of UFC fighters for, I guess, generally your approach, right? In terms of you'll fight anyone, your sort of no-nonsense, matter-of-fact approach, and obviously the way you fight and your record speaks for itself. How much does having the respect of I guess the MMA, your what are they called, compatriots, contemporaries, Edward? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's I think it's how the sport should be run, especially in combat. in combat sports, in the fight game. I think that's how it should be. It should be an honorable event. It should be, because we're both going out there, me and my opponent, and we're putting our hearts and souls on show for everybody. Fighting is a different beast, and I think the fans obviously appreciate it, but I think some don't truly grasp what we're displaying out there. When you see a guy that refuses to go down, or he gets knocked down and he keeps getting back up, like that is a man's soul. And I don't know. I think that's honor is the only, thing that should be displayed in there, and respect.
Love that. You mentioned earlier 5 rounds. This fight is 5 rounds, punters and dribblers. I always am blown away by the length of 5-round fights. Like, the way I think about it is, I say, if you were at a pub and some bloke goes, "Let's go at the front and fight for 25 minutes," like, it's fucking insane. Like,
yeah, dude.
Like, can you give some insight into, like, the difference between 3-round and a 5-round fight?
Oh, mate, yeah, it's
Other than 10 minutes.
Which is obvious.
I'm trying to think of like a good metaphor to try and get it across. It's just long, mate. It's long. Like three rounds goes in the blink of an eye. It really does. But there's something else when you're sitting there on the stool in the third and you got 10 minutes left. Like, you got another 2 to run with this guy, especially if it's been a hard fight up to that point, which they all are. It just, and not only the fight is long and draining, like 25 minutes to fight at full pace is nuts, but the camp is just so much, dragging, because every round, every room session, every match, they throw 2 to 3 rounds after it just to make sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and when you're sparring, we're doing 6 rounds. When you're grappling, we're doing 8 rounds. When we're wrestling, we're doing 10 rounds. Like, we're just to make sure you have that work ethic and that drive and that foundation, that base of fitness to run the marathon that is 25 minutes.
And is you see sometimes in fights, like a 5-rounder, I'll watch old UFC fights when I'm just having a rough day, just when I've got fuck all to do. And I'm like, the other day I watched Conor Nate 2 at like fucking 11 o'clock at night because it was just in my YouTube algorithm, and I was like, righto. But like, there was like this fight specifically, but like Conor seemed to have the first 2 rounds. Nate comes back in the third. Everyone thinks Conor's fucked. He comes back in the fourth, and then Nate comes back in the fifth. Like, is there like a particular round in those fourth and fifths that's worse than another one? You know what I mean? Like, where you're going, like, how do you find a little bit of extra energy sometimes? Is there certain like things a coach will say to you that'll spark you? Are there certain words you might have to like associate with to try and get you going? Or is it just I'm here and I'm just trying not to get fucking slept?
Yeah, mate, every fight's different. You don't know what's going on. It's because like your opponent's actively trying to undo everything you've worked towards, right? And the fight itself is it's just a dynamic, flowing event that you can make. I forget the saying at the top of my head, but it's just like the best laid plans, but something like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll
what I mean? Like
look for the best laid plans saying, and we'll just ask one of the producers.
It's like, I can't remember the saying off the top of my head, but I know what it means. Yeah. It's like they all fall apart as soon as the first punch is thrown. Well, there's that other saying. It's like everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face, right?
Yes.
That's literally how it is, because you don't know how it's going to play out. You kind of just got to roll with the punches, and that's why you put so much work in through the months beforehand, so that when exhaustion hits, when fatigue hits, when you get hurt or you get rocked, your body just does what you've trained it to do day in, day out in that gym.
Yeah.
You were saying before that your camp's been cherry ripe. Like, is it only since you've had, the amount of fights that you've had, that you can recognise what a good camp is and what you need out of it? Or do you just feel it the whole way through? You're like, this is a fucking ripper.
Yeah, you just feel it, mate. You feel it because, even if, let's say, you have an average camp, but it feels good to you, then you feel good, and that's just like the heads.
Yeah.
Like that's the headspace. Like if you feel good, you feel good.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
But are there certain marks that you need to get to in a camp to make your coaches feel good as well? You know.
Oh, definitely. Like you need your fitness at a certain level. You need your weight at a certain point. You need like how lean I am coming in to Dubai or overseas dictates how hard the camp was, how well the diet was going, you know, how much I'm able to eat this week. It changes. So like I have a couple of goal marks and benchmarks that if I hit, I'm good. If I'm above them, I'm perfect. And I've nailed every one so far.
Fuck yeah, we love that. Just a quick update on that saying for you there, Rob. The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. I'm going to forgive you for not remembering that one because I remember the best laid plan bits. I feel like I remembered.
I don't remember the mice part.
I don't remember the mice bit. It doesn't seem, that's a bit all over the shop, that one.
He was in the right.
No, he was in the right ballpark.
Yes,
for sure. The saying's fucking.
Yeah.
The second part of the saying was bizarre.
Mate, I remembered there was mice and men at the end. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to get the delivery out.
We would have been fucking confused if you dropped mice in there as well.
Yeah, the mice part would have thrown me 100%. Like some mice and shit.
Yeah.
Mate, you've mentioned weight a couple of times. Do you find making weight grueling? Like, what sort of process is it for you?
And no one likes making weight, but after the amount of fights and experience that I have under my belt, I've gotten to a pretty good point where I can do it pretty seamlessly, like as well as one can. I would like to think I've done hard cuts, and these, like the cuts that I do nowadays, certainly aren't too bad. You know, it's just a process. It's a science, and I have a great team around me that they keep track of my calories and everything. Make sure I'm on point. Done it enough times. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I wanted to just get your thoughts on a bit of like the middleweight division ructions. What's going on?
Stacked division.
Well, it is, and like again, forgive me if I've just completely forgotten this, which my brain has a tendency to do. But you and Strickland have never fought, have you?
No.
How did you find the fight with him and Paulo Costa the other day? And is he someone, I assume the answer here to be honest, but like someone that you'd be interested in fighting down the line, I guess, especially in terms of that like sort of the title, machinations as they sort of go?
Yeah, mate. Like he looks like an awkward as hell dude to fight.
Yeah.
You know, he seems tricky to hit, and he just puts on a silly level of pressure, you know, and it works really well for him. And I also thought Costa was kind of average that night.
Yeah.
But then maybe that's because he got shut down so hard by Strickland. It's hard to say.
He seems so awkward to fight when he just sort of walks forward with his hands up and he's got the high knee sort of Terminator thing going on.
Dude.
Like it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Do you watch a fight like that? Do you see that when
crazy.
Costa's doing that? And are you sort of like, are you like thinking of the way you would fight him as you're watching that? Are you going like, do something, Costa, or do this, like do this?
That's why I don't really like watching fights too much, because like as soon as I see a fight, like I'm comparing myself to everything that's going on in there, and I don't like that. It makes watching fights like a job almost stressful.
Yeah. We also do that, but it's just far less. We're like, we fucking hit him.
Yeah. Well, we're just yelling stuff.
Yeah. We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. Oh, we're not saying that. Don't worry. We're certainly well aware of where we sit, which is on couches, not doing anything physical.
Exactly right. Is there anything that you've had to prepare differently in terms of fighting in Saudi Arabia that you wouldn't have usually had to do, for example?
Nah, not at all. It's only 7 hours behind. It's not Australia's only 7 hours behind. It's not too, or am I 7? No, we're 7 hours behind. It's not too bad, to be honest. It's pretty good. It's bloody hot outside. Lucky we're not fighting outside.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
But
One of the things that I think Australians generally appreciate about you is like how fucking Australian you are, or like how, national pride you are. You're out there like before every fight. Your Southern Cross tat has never been punched more.
Mate.
Like it's always red as you're smacking.
It's been given one of the great poundings.
One of the great poundings of all time. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, mate. I think when I was growing up, getting the Southern Cross tattooed on you was like almost a rite of passage, and then it seemed to have been labelled as a bit of a bogan thing to do at some stage. But I'm trying to correct that. I'm just trying to change that perspective on it, because I think it's bloody atrocious.
Yeah,
you're doing a great job of that. Can I ask? When have you come out right in the walkout to the ring, and you've got in there, you've been announced by the great and the powerful
Bruce Buffer,
and then you've just given it one of the great poundings where you thought to yourself, "Fuck, that was the best I've ever done."
Mate, I can't say. I don't even realise, because there's so much adrenaline shit going in there. I don't even realise how hard I'm hitting it until I wake up the next day and I got bruises all over my bloody chest.
Yeah. It's a serious pound. It's a serious. I look at it and I'm like, Jesus Christ, he might break his hand.
I think that recent fight against Costa, I'm like, you were in the zone.
Yeah, he's worked that thing over.
He's worked it over. Good to see.
Conscious of your time, mate, and the fact that you probably need to go and continue preparing for a serious biff on the weekend. What in terms of rugby league, which is, we talk a lot of rugby league here at Hello Sport, Rob, are you a rugby league fan? I know that you've had the Panthers down to Smeaton Grange to like roll with you in their premiership assault. Are you a Panthers man, or was that like, did you sort of like turn on your team to let the Panthers into your camp, into your gym?
Nah, so well, I'm a long time South fan.
Okay,
that's tough.
My father is, but as my coach and teammates started working with different teams with their wrestling, so Alex Pratt and Jacob have worked with a bunch of teams, starting with the South when they won the premiership, all the way through till the Panthers when they won the premiership. They work with the Broncos as well. This year they're working with the Bulldogs. So we're a doggies team at the moment.
Okay. And they're looking good, dude. Their defense is the second best in the competition right now.
Yeah. Well, now we know why.
There you go.
Now we know why.
You want to work with the Seagulls, Rob? Can you work with the Manly Seagulls?
Manly, mate? Get him up there.
Fucking hell.
So they're smashing it. They're doing really well. And my heart will always be a Burrows man, but I've got to follow the team. The team's working the doggies. We're doggies, boys. So that's what's happening right now.
All right.
And just on State of Origin, are you a blue?
Silly question, mate.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And are you like all of us?
Just needed to clarify that.
Are you like all of us that thinking it was just one of the great travesties in the history of rugby league?
There is nothing more I hate than a bloke I hang out with in New South Wales saying he goes for Queensland. There is nothing worse.
Clip that up. Beautiful.
There is nothing worse. Like you need to, I don't know, see a psychiatrist or something, because you gotta work some things out. You gotta work some things out, mate.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Just bloody silly.
You need your head ready. You need to stand for something, and you're going to fucking get around here in New South Wales saying you're a Queensland. And most likely, Rob, they've never stepped fucking foot in Queensland.
Never stepped foot there. One of our producer, we had to get rid of him. We had to give him the sack. He was a turncoat. Never been to Queensland in his life. He'd carry on, wear the jersey. Absolutely disgraceful. Yeah. Thank God you said that.
Yeah, look, I expected as much from
of course. He's setting the standard, Tom. He's setting the standard.
Yeah, he is. Before we let you go...
It's almost as bad as like blokes that live in Sydney that go for the Broncos. Or
it's the same thing.
Melbourne Storm.
Oh, the storm.
Wake up to yourself.
What are you doing?
Wake up to yourself.
You just
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, have some self-respect. Do you see how we see you? Do you understand how the world views you? You're a fucking turncoat freak.
You're a fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
Never ran there, sorry,
more.
boys.
No, mate, please. We've been needing to get that off our chest.
That was it. It was important I heard that.
Mate, thank you very much for taking the time for a yarn. Just quickly, what games are you playing to sort of unwind in fight week? What are you doing?
Right now, I am smashing Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World.
It's what it says on the tin, mate. It's what it says. It's what it is on the tin, right? I get about 7 hours a day of just jamming that thing. having a great time, dude.
Fuck yeah, I'm going to check Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World. That is good stuff.
And then I like FaceTime my wife and this kid screaming in the background. I'm like, oh, babe, I wish I was there.
Back to Monster Hunter World, bro.
That's it, dude.
Oh, fuck. Well, mate, we'll let you
ya.
get back to it. I'm sure you've got some monsters to hunt in that world.
Too easy. Thanks for having me, boys. Really appreciate it.
Awesome to chat. Good luck. Go and get after it.
Give him hell,
we'll be
mate.
watching.
100%, mate.
Good on you, bro.
Cheers, Rob. Good
Thanks,
man.
mate. Good to talk to you.
Take it easy, lads. Thank you very
you,
much.
mate.
Cheers.
That was mad.
Hooroo.
What a mad cunt.
What a mad cunt.
What a mad
Fucking
cunt.
always knew I was a huge fan of
Oh,
Rob.
of course we did.
But like, there's been a fan of Rob, and then there's talking to Rob,
And then there's talking to Rob and now being friends with Rob.
Well, but there's also talking to Rob and now having a crush on Rob.
Yeah, now being like, holy shit, I am obsessed with Rob.
I've now got a full-blown crush on Rob. I always liked Rob. I was always a fan of Rob.
Huge fan of Rob.
I've now got a crush on him.
Now, but we're the same people except for the physical fighting and being like an alpha.
We are like
Outside of being an alpha male,
mate.
we're the same people.
Put it this way: are we like best mates with Rob now?
Like, we fucking share the exact same sentiment about New South Wales, about turncoats.
Mate, how about he basically did a drive-by into your day without realising. He's like, it's like going for fucking the storm. It's exactly what it's like.
Exactly what it is, Rob. You're in our mind.
Why are you so smart and hot and strong and fabulous?
The only thing I'm upset we didn't ask him, like, we missed one thing, and you may not pick this up, but it has something to do with his face.
His goatee?
Yep. I just wanted to know.
No. At the start, can I tell you something? When he comes onto the screen, the first question that comes into my mind is, walk me through fight week for the goatee.
What's the goatee's fight?
What's the goatee's fight week?
What does it look? What's its fight?
What's
week
its fight week look like? Because that thing was prepped.
No, that thing looked ready. You thought Rob looked ready, and Rob did look ready, but
it looked great. But there was probably work to be done yet.
Well, it's just a trim or two.
Who knows? We didn't ask.
But I would assume, what's the point of trimming your goatee before like fight day? Where you just get a little. Brrr.
Tom,
the only thing we've got to ask.
That's between Rob and his goatie.
Yeah, it is actually.
You know what I mean?
That's
got fuck all to do with you, mate, and your opinion.
No, you're right. It's not about my opinion. It's got fuck all to do with me across the board. It's between him, his goatee, and God.
Correct.
Anyway, June 23, Sunday, the prelims start at 2 a.m. All is available on Fight Pass, which we're big fans of.
So get up or stay up.
Well, get up or stay up, but also what you need to do is speak to your misso or your man, and not even speak to him. What you need to start doing around the house is start doing some chores, some things to, justify the fact that you're either staying up or getting up really early and going to be really tired on Sunday once you finish the fight. But, like, if you're an Australian who fucking loves the nation and who also fucking thumps the metaphorical Southern Cross on your chest.
Or the literal.
You're right.
Or the physical.
Or the physical or the literal.
Then you need to start racking up brownie points and racking them up fucking quick smart. Now, if the quickest way to rack up brownie points in your household is to make a tray of brownies, then get to fucking cooking, baby.
Get to baking, baby.
Do you want me to send you the greatest recipe of all time for cornflake cookies that will not leave a dry eye in the house?
Yeah.
weep tears of happiness,
Yeah.
then I can do that for you if it means you get up and you support our boy Rob Whittaker in his quest to be in line for a title shot against Duplessis. Hopefully, all things considered.
So 2 a.m. is the prelim fight pass. Then at 5 a.m. the main card starts.
Rob's going to be on after 6. No excuses.
No
excuses.
You get up and you watch that whole
There
fucking
are no
thing.
excuses. There are no fucking excuses. 5 a.m.'s not that early. Get the fuck up and support our boy.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple stuff. Do you love the nation or don't you?
I've had enough of it. Do you love the nation or don't
do you love the fucking nation or don't you?
Do you love them or not?
Because Rob's out there banging the fucking Southern Cross, asking for support.
Playing Monster Hunter World.
Like, let's just calm the fuck down for a second and go, what do you need to be doing on Sunday? And it's supporting.
I need to see Monster Hunter World before we finish this, before we wrap this up. What the fuck is that game?
Well, it's a world where you hunt monsters.
Monsters. You hunt them.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter World. Maybe the dribbliest name for a game I've ever heard. Like, they've gone, let's make a game about like monsters hunting in a world. And you go, you know what, dude? That fucking name works. Let's not think of another name.
I tell you what.
It's a working title.
I tell you what, it'd send Rob's world into a spin. Is if he lost his PS5 on the way over there. Like, he must like strap that to his body.
Again, a question we've left on the cutting room. Well, not the cutting room floor. We've left on the field.
We weren't given enough time.
No, but listen, dude, we just need to be better and go, what are you rocking with?
Yeah.
And that's something for next time. Do you fly with your PS5 or is this a fucking Nintendo Switch situation? What are you doing?
He'd be a 5, man.
But do you get one? Is that part of like your rider?
No, bro.
PS5.
He'd be taking his with him.
Because he'd want his record.
Oh, you got like a passport holder.
Yeah.
Like old people, boomers have them. He'd have like a PS5 holder.
Like it'd be a baby carrier.
Like
on
a baby
chest.
carrier. He goes, bruh, I need this.
Yeah, I'm not checking this in. This is coming on the flight.
Yeah, I ain't checking this shit in. No way in the world.
I wonder if he flies first class. Another question I wanted to know.
Well, I'd heard before, but Rob obviously a different beast. He has been world champion before. He is in the thick of it now, Tom. I reckon he's got a bit of bizzo about him, but I've heard before that some of those low boys, some of those like below the top 20 type fighters are like Ikram.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Like,
but like, imagine being like, I'm going to, let's just say Madison Square Garden. I'll be fighting on a card over there, and I'm in economy.
Yeah, but that's like, that to me seems normal if you're just like a kid on the rise. You don't just command business. Thank you very much.
Great point.
Prove yourself.
Prove yourself.
Prove yourself.
Prove yourself. Earn it.
Earn it.
Earn the flatbed.
Everyone.
Earn the flatbed.
Everyone in life has to earn that.
You got to earn the flatbed.
You
That's
don't just
a great
walk
point.
in a business class.
Tell you he's earned a flatbed.
Fucking Robbie Whittaker.
Robbie Whittaker's earned a flatbed.
Bobby Knox.
Yeah.
He's a Reaper.
Yeah, first class, baby.
Get him
First
in the
class.
fucking first class.
Now,
Mid-air wank sort of stuff.
Sunday, 23rd, you'll be up when, punters and dribblers?
2 a.m.
You'll be up when? You'll be up at 2 a.m. watching the prelims. Worst case, absolute worst case scenario. Fucking worst case scenario, you'll be up at 5. That's worst case. 5 a.m. supporting the nation and Biffs generally and the UFC, but the nation. Okay? Make sense?
Fight pass.
Can't Rob.
Shout to Rob. Can't Rob.
Can't Rob. Can't Rob.
Could you two just not talk anymore?